Hello, people. Good afternoon. This is Coach Deborah Day. If you're meeting me for the first time, this is Coach Deborah Day, a certified teenagers and adolescent coach and a teens identity expert. Welcome to today's live session. Yes, I'm excited. Are we excited? I would love to see our comments. Are you excited to be here? Yes, are you excited to be here? I would love to see our comment. Drop it in the comment section. Drop a love emoji and excitement emoji. Just drop an emoji just to show that yes, you are excited to be here. So yes, like we've seen in the description, we'll be discussing 5 reasons why you should normalize your children saying no. I know that when some parents saw the flyer, they're already like, what do you mean by that? Why should my child tell me no? Relax. I said what? Relax. Relax. We are here for you. Relax. I and my wonderful colleague, Coach Rachel Henry, will be discussing in-depthly. So you don't want to miss any of this session. Yes, we'll be discussing in-depthly. Yes, we don't want you to miss any of this session. Sorry, I'm trying to add us. Yes. All right. So before Coach Rachel will be coming up very soon. Yes, she'll be joining me in a minute. Yes. So yes, let me add her. So she'll be joining me very soon. So I want us to buy and your paper because we are going to be learning a lot. I also came with mine, so you don't have any excuse not to come with yours. Yes, you don't have any excuse not to come with yours. Oh, yay! Welcome, ma. Welcome, ma.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for accepting
this stream. It's an honor and a privilege. Thank you for the invitation, Coach Deborah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring it.
You're welcome.
Yes, so before we delve into today's topic, I really just want to, show I want to tell our viewers what brought about the conversation that we're going to be having today. Right. So I just want to give them a background story because I knew I promised to do that a few days back, but I couldn't.
Yes.
So I want to give us a background story. So something happened last weekend. I know Coach Rachel is aware of that. I was in Oyo State last weekend and I went for a party. And yes, there's this little girl. She's just 4 years old. So just follow me. It's not my fault. Yeah, so she's just 4 years old. And then I've been looking out for her during the party because she's one of the children in my ministry, Remittance is International Ministry. So she's one of the children and in fact, she's the youngest. So I've been looking out for this girl and then I throughout the party. So the party had ended. And so I offered to help, I helped her to, clean her legs and all because the area was very, very dusty. And then I just told her that, come bring your legs. So she was wearing heels. So I removed the heels from her leg. I helped her to, clean her leg and everything. And then after that, I now told her, I gave her an instruction. I said, when you are going home, I'm going to carry you so that you don't stain your legs again, right? I told her that I'm going to carry you. I told her that I'm going to carry you so that you don't stain your legs again. This was during the party had ended. We were planning to go home. So I said that I'm going to carry you so that, you will not stain your legs and everything. And then she goes, no. And I'm like, what? She's like, no. And somewhere in my mind, I'm like, hello, who are you telling no? Who are you to tell me no? That kind of reason. I'm talking to, in fact, I remember I said right there and then that if I slap you.
That's an African response.
Yeah, that African mother part in me just came out. I'm talking to you. You this small girl, 4 years old. You are telling me no. And then that African mother part came out and then I said, if I slap you. And then she just kept quiet. And then a few minutes later, not even up to a few minutes, let me just a few seconds later, the Holy Spirit now, as they heard, it will give you back to back. So a few minutes later, I just heard in my spirit that she can actually tell you no,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That she can actually tell me no, and I'm like, she can actually tell me no. What do you mean? Holy Spirit, explain better, please. She can actually tell you no, and I'm like, okay, explain to me, right? Explain to me. So, and then they started giving me scenarios, and I'm like, oh wow, this is actually very true. And it's not just me, anybody could have, of course, behaved that way because I felt disrespected. That how can you tell me no? I'm talking to you, giving you an instruction that is even for your own benefit,
Yeah.
and then you are there telling me no. So immediately she said that, so immediately after the Holy Spirit gave me those scenarios that we're going to be sharing some today, I I just told her that, you know what, it's fine, no problem, it's fine. We're going to go with what you want us to do. So I told her it's fine, even though eventually I still carried her. Yes, but I just gave her that sense of acceptance, right? That yes, your opinion matters and all. So I gave her that sense of acceptance, and yeah. So we are going to be going right into it. Yes, we are going to be going right into it. So the first reason, because we are dealing with 5 reasons, even though it's a broad topic and all like that.
Yeah.
And yes, as we are going on, if you have any question you would like to ask us, kindly do well to drop it in the comment section. We'll check it out. Yeah, so one of the first reason why is important, or benefit of normalizing no, either as a parent, a teacher, a guardian, whoever, right? You are in the more superior situation than any other person. The benefit of normalizing no for children, especially we're dealing with children now, is that first is that it encourages autonomy. It encourages autonomy. And now I wrote here that allowing children to say no occasionally helps them develop a sense of autonomy and decision making skills. The reason why, one of, like I said, that the reason why we have some people, that there's this popular saying, mommy's boy. The reason why we have some mommy's boys and everything is because these people, they don't know how to make decisions, so they need their parents to make decision. They need their parents, they need people to they can't even make decision on their own. You want to
Exactly.
get married, mommy, who should I marry? Those kind of things. And that's why we see ladies now, people like us that are yet to get married, they say, I cannot marry a mommy's boy. That simply means that we cannot marry somebody, you cannot submit to somebody that cannot make decision on this or our own.
Very
Because
important.
how can you submit yourself as a woman to a man that cannot even make a simple decision on his own? He needs the opinion of his parents to be able to make crucial decisions, and he's going to be the head of the home. Because it encourages independency. That's why when you normalize your children saying no, it will help them to become an independent thinking child.
Yes.
They'll be able to reason, they'll be able to reason on their own, make decisions on their own, even without you being there. When you normalize, your children, that's one of the benefits. When you normalize your children saying no, it encourages their autonomy, it helps them to make decisions. You'll be able to make sensible decisions, right? While you guide them through. We're still going to come to some important considerations, right? But first is that it will help them, it will help them to be able to make decisions wherever they find themselves. Either they are in school, they are in church, they are in a social gathering, they are in the midst of their friends. They don't need to call you and say, mommy, my friend said so and so thing. What should I do? They already know what to say because you have helped them. Oh, mommy, my friend said that she wants us to do this, and it's against their wish. They don't need to call you because you have already taught them how to say no.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You have already taught them, you have already encouraged them that you can actually say no. You don't need to seek mommy's approval in mommy's absence. You don't need to call mommy on phone and say, mommy, we are in the investing, I'm in the investing, and mommy, the lecturer said that this and this, and mommy, what should I do? So this is what in our daytime now, in our time now, in my generation now, whereby we have this anonymous things going on, and then you read through some anonymous things, and then you are saying, please hide my identity, this and this, and when you now read through the story and the conversation, you are wondering that what kind of which normal human being would think like this, right? But it's not their fault because they have always their parents, they are probably due to their upbringing, they have always had to say yes. So they can't even make decisions. So when they want to make decisions, they have to go anonymous and tell you that, please, I need your consent. And when you, the viewer, you are reading this and you're like, how can somebody be thinking like this? In this age and time. So it actually encourages autonomy. So, Coach Rachel, what do you have to say concerning that, ma?
Yeah, I find you are right. I find the story of the 4-year-old girl very interesting because it
Yeah,
shows that that child at that age, imagine 4 years old,
yeah,
already knows how to
yeah.
say no. So for
No.
her, that is a strong-willed child. That child is a
Mm,
strong-willed child. So the mistake we make most times as parents or as counselors is that we shut down the ability of strong-willed children to speak up,
mm,
that their natural self-esteem, we shut it down by making them to fit into a box, by making them
mm.
to stay compliant, because this is what
Yeah.
society wants, or this is what
Mm,
society expects a child to be or to say or to do. So we end up shutting down their natural instincts, and in the long run it will affect their self-esteem, which we as parents, we need to be mindful of that. So another
yeah.
thing is that there is a right, we can actually teach our children the right way to say
Mm,
no, because there is a right way
mm,
to say no and a wrong way to say no. So when an adult is giving you a direct order or a direct instruction, you don't just outrightly say no, unless if what the adult is telling you is something negative. An adult
mm,
can say, go to the store and help me to buy some illegal drugs, or to go and help me to get cigarettes, and maybe your family values are against those things. So at that point, the adult is giving you a direct order: go to the store, go to my friend's place and get me these drugs. And or the adult can say, get me something from my friend, or you want to ask, what is the thing, sir, please, what is the thing I want to go and collect? And you say, no, it's just some weed that my friend brought from abroad. And that child should be able to say no. But when from a young age we teach them to be compliant to what society wants, that child will not be able to say no. So there is a right way
mm.
for children to say no, not saying no
No.
in disobedience, not saying no because they are rude, but saying no
Mm,
because they understand their self-esteem, they know their self-worth, they know their family values, they know that this is right, this is wrong, they have sound morals and upbringing. So from a young age, when we're able to inculcate this into these children, then they will be able to say no to any adult. So we teach them the right no to say, or the right way to
mm,
say no. So you don't say, when an adult tells you, get me my handbag, you don't say no, because that is wrong, that is disrespectful. So that is not what we are saying. What we are saying is for the child to be able, when they are not comfortable with an instruction, they should be able to say no. They should be able to stand their ground and be assertive. So when they feel the adult is giving them an instruction that is wrong, they should be able to say no. When someone is coming to
yeah.
touch their body inappropriately, they should be able to say no. So, and the saying no starts from saying no to the parents. Because if the child cannot say no to the parents, that child will not be bold enough to say no to an outsider when they go out of the home. Because whether we like it or not, our children are not going to be in our homes, like in the safety of our homes,
Yeah.
24 hours of the
All
day,
the time.
365 days a year. No, it's not going to happen that way. Our children are going to go out, they are going to mix up, they will mingle with others, and they will come across so many situations. So they should be able to know when to say no and the right way of saying no. So if I'm a parent and I tell the child, go, when someone comes to look for me and I say, maybe I'm owing the person, and I tell my child, tell them I'm not around, I'm teaching the child how to lie. But that child can say, no, mommy, it is wrong, can you please just go and explain to the person that you will pay at a later date or something. This is a child, it shows that the child can think. it shows that the child is not a dummy. Because when we raise children that cannot think, when they go outside the home and maybe they find themselves in the university and the lecturer says, come to my hotel room so that you and I will have a fun time. And the child will not be able to say no because they have not been taught how to say no from the home. It is when it is too late that people will not be blaming the child. Why didn't you speak up? Why didn't you say something? And we have so many rape cases and the people involved cannot speak up because they've not been taught how to say no. So it is very important. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Coach Rachel. People are saying they can't see your face, that you need to maybe calm down.
Okay.
Or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So all right. So this is why. Thank you so much for that. Like you had rightly said, that it is very, very important, because when you say no to an adult, when a child says no to an adult, the first thing that the reflex action, is going to be like a disrespect. But we having this conversation is just for parents and guardians and everyone to see that there is a positive side for a child to say no. So that's the perspective that we are bringing, that there is actually a positive side to a child saying no. So the second reason why you should normalize your children saying no, sometimes, is that it prepares them for real life situations. It prepares them for real life situations. In real life, children will encounter situations where they need to say no. Normalizing this behavior helps them prepare for such situations. Now, I wrote down here that, for example, why do we have children that, they are at home, they are already, like we already spoke about. We have children that they are in their houses and then they go to university, because we are dealing with children. So university, school may just literally be our example. So, they go to the university and then the boy is in school, and then his friend is telling him, come and join so and so cult. The boy will not be able to say no, because all his life he has been used to yes. Yes, your camera is better now. So he says, the guy is used to saying yes. So when he now gets to school now, and then he cannot make a decision. He has to. So sometimes they're not even able to tell you, because when you notice children that cannot even say no, you realize that they probably don't even have a cordial relationship with their parents. So the child is now going through that such peer pressure in school. He cannot open up to his mom or to his dad and say, Dad, somebody approached me, and do I told the person no already that I would not like to join that cult. But mommy, daddy, what do you think about it? Enlighten me more on it. So, but when we begin to encourage children that you can actually say no, it's okay to say no. Like you said, in some situations, in a case whereby they want to be molested, in a case of bullying, in a case of harassment, whatever, maybe sexual harassment or whatsoever, they'll be able to say no. The child do not the child will not get to, the child will not get to school and then come and join court or come and do the one that is trending now, Yahoo. And the boy will not be able to say no, because all his life is yes. So it prepares them for real life situation. And like you said, that their first example or where they can actually practicalize this better put is in the home. That mommy says something and then they don't feel comfortable about it. Right? They don't feel comfortable about it, but they can actually say, mommy, like you said, indirect and direct no. And I know you have some experiences already with your children, because you're not just a coach, you're an adolescent, you're a mother to an adolescent and a teenager as well. Yes. So, you have real life situation of these things. So it prepares them. They'll not be forced that I must do this. They do not be any under pressure. They don't need to call you to say, mommy, my friend said this. They'll be able to make decisions on their own. Because when they say no, it helps them to identify positive situations and negative situations. But when you are telling them everything goes, yes, the bad one, yes, the one that they are not comfortable with. Yes,
Yes.
they won't be able to, they will not be able to stand up for themselves. And like I said, it prepares them for real life situations. I don't know if you have any comments concerning that. Like share maybe with your children at home
Yes.
and all like that.
So I am a
Yeah,
mom. I'm a mom of a preteen and also a
yeah.
mom of a teenager. So I get this a lot, and from experience, these children, they can say no. They can say no in a right way. So they say no in a right way. So that's why I said there is a wrong way of saying no and there is a right way of saying no. And also there is the direct way, direct no and indirect no. So when you tell a child something and the child says no, I'm not doing it, or no, that is a direct no, like outrightly. But when you tell a child something, like the case of my preteen daughter. So my daughter is someone that is very hardworking and strong, physically strong. So she does a lot of house chores and all that. But immediately she gets tired, she just shuts down. So at that point, you can see it on her face, you can see it from her body language that she's tired. And you bear her witness that she has been working for a long time. So immediately she gets tired, and you are still bringing one extra chore that you forgot to tell her since, or you want to add, and you now say, okay, Amaka, can you please help me wash the plate, or can you wash the plate now? I want to use it. Before, what she does is that she will just say, okay, mommy, and she will just go and sleep. She will not do it. So at that point, she's tired, and I understood. So, but now, because she's growing, so what she does nowadays is that when you tell her to do something, go and wash the plate now, and she's tired because she has been working for a long time, she will tell you, okay, mommy, please, can I wash the plate later? So that is an indirect no. It's a way of indirectly telling me, no, I'm not washing it now. But in a more subtle manner, in a more polite manner, where no one feels disrespected, no one feels so at that point, when she's saying that no, if I insist, because I'm the parent, I can insist and say, no, what do you mean? I'm telling you to do something now. You know that African mother. I'm telling you to do something right now. You are telling me, can you do it later? So if I insist and I bring out my African motherness, I am causing more harm than good at that point, because it will harm the connection that we have. At that point, there'll be a disconnect. So what I'll do is that,
Yeah.
okay, now, okay, are you sure you will wash it later? She said, yes, okay, if I just rest a bit, I will go and wash it. Or if I just take my bath, I'll go and wash it. So you give a reason why she cannot do it then. And everyone is good and fine. And later you will notice that she will go by herself and do it. So yes, our children can say no to us.
Yeah. Please say that again. So that parents can hear. Thank you so much, Ma, for that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. So I wanted to mention that now I spoke the first that one of the reasons, we're talking about 5 reasons. So one of the reasons is that it encourages autonomy. The second one that is that it prepares them for real life situations. Now, the third one I have here is that it fosters healthy boundaries. It fosters healthy boundaries. Teaching children that it's okay to say no helps them establish and maintain healthy boundaries with others. Now, I think I saw a Facebook post few minutes ago, a few hours ago before the live session. And then I just thought to myself that this is one of the things we are talking about. So in that post, the lady said that it is better for her to be in a relationship that the guy is beating her and then he has money than for a relationship where the guy is not beating her and there is no money.
Wow.
So, I thought to myself that how did she get to that point? The fact that she cannot even identify what is healthy for her and what is not healthy. She said it is better for her to be in a relationship that the guy is beating her and then there is money than for a relationship where the guy is not beating her and he doesn't have money. And then I began to ask myself that these are the things. When we normalize children saying no, when we encourage them that you can actually say no, right? It fosters healthy boundaries. If look at that 4-year-old, for instance. if she grows up now and she's in a relationship and then the guy is trying to do anyhow, she will quit because she knows her self-worth. She knows that she can actually do away with him. She knows that life does not depend on him. And you see that even as time goes on, when we don't normalize children telling us no, when we just want them to be saying yes, you see that they begin to struggle with low self-esteem. They begin to struggle with low self-esteem.
Exactly.
They want to be accepted. Look at that girl now. Look at that lady now. Because she's a lady. Look at her saying something that is not even healthy, something that can put your life at risk. You are saying you enjoy it, that it is better. How is it better, please? How is it better? Something that people have died through. You are saying it is better to be in a relationship with a guy that beats you but there is money than with a guy that doesn't beat you and there is no money. How? Let's make it make sense. Make it make sense. How, I just kept on thinking. That how did this lady get here? That
It's from our
she's beginning to
upbringing.
yes. How did she get here? How did she get here?
If we dig deep,
yes.
yeah, if we can take a walk into her childhood, we'll see that she is a child that was raised with low self-esteem, very low self-esteem. Like she doesn't know her worth, she doesn't know her value. So anyone can walk over her, just come and walk over her. Anyone can maltreat her. Anyone can talk to her anyhow. So when we raise children that cannot stand their ground, when we raise children that are not assertive, these are the end results. It will follow them into adulthood because habits die hard. Habits are things that follow us, that are built over a long time, and we continue with them. So she may not even realize that she has a problem until someone sits her down and take her down memory lane and break it down for her. Because she has a problem of setting boundaries. So we need to teach our children that you set boundaries. No one talks to you anyhow. I tell my children, you cannot just walk up to me and start talking to me anyhow. No, I will not take it. Because I have my self-worth and I know my value. And I will not take being talked down on by anyone, irrespective of whoever it is. I will not take it to be talked down. And that is how we model it to these children. Because that lady you are telling us about now, if we dig into her life, maybe she had a mom being talked down on. Maybe she had a mom in funny situations, and the mom has modeled that to her. So that is what she's just extending. She's just extending that. So we need to teach our children that there is a healthy boundary. You need to set boundary on how people talk to you, on how people relate to you. So let me give you another real life instance. I'll still use my daughter. So in their class, there's this girl that is like somewhat of a bully that talks to people anyhow, disrespects people because of one reason or the other. So she feels she's bigger than everyone. So there was a day, because my daughter will tell me that, see what this girl does to people. And my daughter will add and say, she dare not come near me. I'm just waiting for the day she will come near me. My daughter is like that. So we'll gist about it and I'll say, so if she comes near you, what will you do? And all that. She said, Mommy, let her just come near me. So there was a day the girl actually came near her. So the girl did not know that my daughter has been waiting for such a day. So my daughter was sitting, it was break period, and my daughter was sitting on a seat, not my daughter's seat and not the girl's seat, someone else's seat in the class. So the girl walked up to my daughter and said, get up, I want to sit down. In a commanding tone, get up, I want to sit down. And my daughter was like, what do you mean I should get up? This is not your seat, so why should I get up? And I didn't meet you here, so why should I get up? And the girl was like, I said you should get up. Are you talking back at me? Do you know who I am? Do you know? So the girl was like, she couldn't believe that someone could stand up to her and tell her no. Because that was my daughter telling her, no, I am not taking this bullshit. So the girl was shocked. And the rest of the people in the class were like, Amaka, don't say it. Do you know who you're talking to? Do you know who she is? Do you know who her father is? And all that and all that. And my daughter was like, who is she? Who is her father? I also have my own father, and I know who I am, and I know what I am worth,
Yeah.
and she cannot just come and be commanding me. So the whole
Yeah.
class, in fact, it was a drama. The whole class was in shock because no one has
Yeah.
dared to stand up to the girl for as long as they've been together in that class. So after that incident, the other students in the class were now bolder. So when the girl comes and starts commanding them, they were like, okay, Amaka could stand you, so I will also stand.
Right.
Amaka stood up to you and nothing happened, so I will also
Yeah.
stand up to you. So that was how the girl started
Mm.
losing her bully influence over her
Mm.
classmates. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so that's amazing, which is going to even lead us to the fourth point that I have here, which is, the fourth reason why you should normalize your children saying no is that it builds self-confidence. Now look at your child now. She was a source of liberation to all that was in their class, because they are used to obeying that command. They're used to obeying that command from that girl. And then she just standing up to the girl and saying, who are you? She's standing up to the girl and saying, who are you? If you think you are somebody, me too, I'm somebody. Right? She's standing up to that girl, really put put that girl in a place that she's meant to be, right? So, as I said, allowing children to say no occasionally can help build their self-confidence and self-esteem. It will build there's no how. They'll be confident. That
Exactly.
what do you mean? What I should stand up. Are you doing not here? That kind of thing, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
because nobody will feel that she's more superior, or and all like that. Because the people she's already that girl in question, she's already used to the people obeying her commands. So when
Yeah.
she saw that your child stood up to her, she was like, what do you mean by that? Right? So and because your child already knows a negative situation. She already identified what is wrong and what is right. That this particular thing is not right. How can you? If it was some children, like our classmates and thereabouts, they know that girl saying they should stand up is a form of discomfort to them. But because they have not been trained to say no, whether you are good with it, say no. Whether you are not good with it, say no. Whether you are, whatever situation, they are not, they have not been trained in all situations, say yes. They have been trained that whether you are good with it, say yes. You are not good with it, say yes. So they have been trained, so and then they feel that, okay, well, I will just stand up. Some will even say for peace to reign. Meanwhile, the peace is not raining anytime soon. But yes, now they say for peace to rain, I will just stand up. Meanwhile, the peace is not going to rain because you have refused to stand up to your rights, to what you feel that this is actually right. But the moment your daughter stood up to her, she was like, how can you question her? And immediately everybody began to see your daughter as a role model, that if Amaka could actually stand up to this girl and nothing happened to her, like you said, you know, nothing happened to her, then I also can stand. So we need to, it helps them to build self-confidence. And like I said, it helps them to build a very, very healthy self-esteem, that their self-esteem is healthy. Like they don't need to say, let me just agree, even when it's not convenient for them, even when it's not okay by them, you know. So we need to actually normalize children saying no. We need to help them. We need to help them because we need to actually normalize children saying no. When they tell you no, like I said, that parents must not see it as a form of disrespect. We must begin to, check again and say, okay, why is this child saying no? Is it for a good cause?
Yeah, yeah,
We're going to come there. Is it for a good cause?
yeah.
That because, like I said, being an adult does not mean that you'll be right 100% of the time. Being an adult, being a parent, a mentor, a coach, a counselor does not mean you'll be right 100% of the time. Adulthood does not mean perfect, like 100%
That's
perfect.
all. That's
No,
all.
you make mistakes. So children now standing up, you give them an instruction, and they said no. Calm down and process it and say, why is this person saying no? Because we need to also consider them too, right? Why are they saying no? Why is this person saying no? And they need to see that it's a situation that will not even harm them, right? Maybe it's not a situation of safety. Encourage it. That's okay. You know what? Let's do it your way. Like I said, you cannot be, because you're adult does not mean you'll be right 100% of the time. You can be wrong. I can be wrong. And that's why we learn daily. We must be open to learn. We must be teachable. You must be, as an adult, you must be teachable. You must be willing to learn. Because these children that you feel that they should always obey you, there are some things that they actually know now that we don't even know, that they even
Exactly.
know better than us. That
Exactly.
like you'll be so shocked, you'll be so surprised that you just have, I do it sometimes with my children in my ministry. I just say, okay, you know what, come. And then, because especially when we want to have some plan, maybe their children party and all, I try to involve them. And then you'll be so surprised. They tell us, Auntie, let's do this. I'm like, where did you know this one from? And they say, I went to so place. Oh, we did it in my school. And I'm like, wow. Right? So you'll be so surprised that those children actually know much more than you think they do. Because they are children does not mean they are 100% senseless. Right? Because they are children does not mean that they are 100% senseless. They have a brain like us, even though that their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed, but they actually have a brain and they can think. So when we begin to help them, when we normalize them saying no, it helps their decision making, like we said. It encourages autonomy. It fosters healthy boundaries. They'll be able to identify that, okay, this is good for me and this is not good for me. It builds that self-confidence. They'll be very, very confident that, yes, I can actually do this. I can actually go all out. It builds that self-esteem. They will have a very healthy self-esteem. They will not live with that mentality that I have to please everybody. Now look at your daughter, for instance. Now you mentioned how that you tell her that, okay, go and wash the plate, and then she now has a the indirect she turns into the indirect way of saying no. As a mommy, I will wash it, but I'm tired right now. I want to rest. Beautiful. It's but like that, you're already teaching her that her opinion counts. That she doesn't have to do some things, even though she's not convenient with it. That she can actually say no to some things when she's not convenient with it. But when you say, come on, go and wash the plate now, when she finds herself outside in the midst of friends and all, she will not be able to stand up. This is a source of discomfort to her. She'll not be able to stand up and say, no, I can't. She will just say, well, anything goes. When you raise children that cannot even say no at all, you are raising children that would always succumb to peer pressure. You are raising children that even in real life situations they can't stand up for themselves. You are raising children that they'll be people pleasers. They'll just want to be, they'll just want to, they just want to please people alone. What did this person like? Even though they are not convenient with it, even though it's maybe is an opposite, is an opposite to their family values. Even their own personal belief or their value, even if they are not okay with it. You are raising children that will not be able to stand up and say, no, I can't do this. You are raising children that's why we are saying, let us normalize it. Let parents, guardians, teachers, mentors, coach, let us normalize children saying no. Let us normalize it, because you don't know when he or she is used to saying yes, yes, yes. Like I said, you are raising people pleasers. Then let me just please this person so that this person will not be angry. No, even if it's against their values, they say, let me just do it so that the person will not be angry. And it's against what they believe personally. It's against, you are making them go against what they don't want to do, because you have taught them that you don't have an opinion. You
Yeah.
don't have an opinion. So I don't know if
Honestly.
you have any
Yeah.
contribution.
Honestly. So my son is very techy. He's a teenager, very techy, very very
Mm,
techy, and a phlegmatic. So he has his own way
mm,
of saying his own no because of his temperament.
mm.
So when I tell
Yeah,
him
definitely.
something that I still have that African mother nature in me. So when I tell him something, do this, he will want to say, Mommy, what of the, why can't we? And I'll say, don't argue with me. You know that African mother something. I said, don't argue with me. I'm talking to you and you're arguing with me. Don't argue with me. And he'll say, okay, because he's a flag. He'll just say, okay, Mommy, okay, I've heard you. So he will go to his room and in like 10 minutes time, when I'm calm, he will now come back and say, Mommy, that thing that we were saying, can I say something about it? I'll say, what do you want to say? He will now say, okay, I feel that if we should do it like this and like this, we'll get a better result and it will even be easier and faster. I'll say, okay. He said, that's what I was trying to tell you before. I now said, okay, I didn't know that is what you wanted to say. You know, African mothers, we are like, well, we sometimes we want to see ourselves as the all and all, you understand? So I would like to agree that these children have suggestions that are tangible. So you now say, that's what I was trying to tell you before. I was saying, are you sure that's what you wanted to say before? Instead of me to still calm down, I will still want to be forming. So you know, now say, yes, that's what I wanted to say. I say, okay, it's a good idea. Let's try it. If I had listened on the first instance, we wouldn't have dragged the matter long. But because of that African mother in her, I mean, it will now take me a while. Because I've also thought, I'm also, you know, when you are raising teenagers, you learn daily. You learn daily. You can't stand your ground and say, as the parent, this is what must happen. So you keep shifting ground, you keep blending till you find the balance, because there has to be a balance for the home to work very well. So with that, I know that is his own temperament and that's the way he expresses himself. Different from his sister that will outrightly give you, whether she wants to say it directly or indirectly, she will say it as it's coming to her. But so there, when we also need to understand the temperament of our children, that's one. We also need to raise these children to be able to know as the parent that this is my child. This child cannot talk nonsense. This is my child. This child, I've taught this child to reason right from time. I've taught this child morals right from time. So this child knows what is right and what is wrong. This child knows what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So when we are talking about saying no, our children saying no, this discussion is not for the parents that have not raised their child right. This discussion is not for the parents that have not raised their child right. This discussion is not for the parents that have not taught their child morals and values. This discussion is not for a dysfunctional family. This discussion is for a family that has put structures in place over time. So when the child is saying no, you know that on a normal day, this child is reasonable. On a normal day, this child is respectful. So there should be a reason for this no. So let me listen to this reason behind this no. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for that. You know, I just want to chip in a little that you know, while you were speaking, it just came to mind that um this is how I was brought up. It's not a parenting approach. Like this is how they trained me. So I must train my child this table because I know that even as this conversation is going on, some persons will be like, that's not how we're raised. I'm yet to, me and Coach Rachel, we are yet to announce to you that we are in the 21st century. And this is a Gen Z generation whereby everything that you do, they have questions. You know, it's not like before that you say, where we are being where we were raised, and then your mom will say something and you say, yes, ma. There's no place for conversation, no place for mommy, why should I do it like that? You know, why how should I do it? You know, there's no place for conversation. It's just, you know what? Okay, your mommy's yes is mommy's yes, mommy's no is mommy's no. There's no place. So this is how I, you know, like I said, just when you were speaking about your child, you know, this is how I was raised. It's not a parenting approach in any way, and it will never be. You know, they raised me like this, and I turned out fine. Well, if you still check yourself deep down, you will see that there are still some things you are struggling with.
Did we
It's
turn
the
out
truth.
fine? Did we actually turn out fine?
Yes, did you
Are we
actually turn
really
out fine? Let's be
okay?
truthful.
Let's
Are we
be
really,
sincere. Are we really
really okay? So this is how I was raised, and I did not die. It's not a parenting approach. Yes. So we need to we need to put that out there that this is how I was raised. It's not a parenting approach. Oh, this is how they raised me. My mommy tell us something, we don't talk back. Well, we are not. I'm going to come there. There are some important considerations, right? I'm going to come there, towards the end of the conversation. But this is how I was raised. It's not a parent. I just let me say because from what Coach Rachel said that the relationship with her and her child, that the fact that the child can even come down, and be calm and even say, okay, mommy may not be in the right mood right now for me to express myself. It all boils down to the relationship you create with your child. And that's why, as parents, it's a wake up call for us. Build that relationship with your child whereby they can speak to you, they can express themselves, they can express their feelings. They can talk to you and say, Mommy, this is how I feel. And it's okay. Now, so the last reason I have here is that it enhances communication skills. It enhances communication skills. Normalizing no encourages children to express their thoughts, feelings, and needs more effectively. It enhances communication. Your child will be able to say, Mommy, this is it. I experienced this, because that's why your child can come back from school and say, Mommy, come and see what happened in school today, oh, right? Because they're already free with you, right? They're free with you. So it enhances communication. They'll be able to express themselves and say, Mommy, I feel like your son. Mommy, I feel we should do it this way. Okay, I'm like, oh, right. And I said, because you're an adult does not mean you'll be right 100%
Exactly.
of it. We need to come to that conclusion that because I'm an adult does not mean I'll be right 100%. I can be wrong. I can't be wrong. There was a day that a child of mine, a teenager, under my ministry, she did something and then I scolded her. And I saw that the way I scolded her, even though she knows that, okay, Auntie Deborah will not, all the time be like this. She understood that. So, and it was for a good cause anyways. So I scolded her and I told her. So deep down in my spirit, I was not okay. I knew that, no, I think I went overboard. So I just said, you know what, when I see her the next Saturday, I was going to apologize to her. And then I walked up to her. She had even forgotten. I said, concerning this and this and this that I did last week, I explained to her that this is it. And then I told her that I am sorry. She was shocked that, okay. So there's an adult that can actually say, I'm sorry to a child, right? I told her that I am sorry, that I shouldn't have, you know, reacted that way, the way I did. She was looking at me. And not one, not two times like that amongst them. When they do something that they're not supposed to do, and I see that me trying to correct them, I've overreacted in a way. Not that I don't beat them. I said, I'm sorry. And then she looked at me. I don't beat them, I don't insult them. So she said, she was so surprised that day, like, wow. So she became, that singular act made her become so close to me that she can even come and tell me that, despite that I'm not a parent or anything, she can, open up to me and say, Ma, this is what I'm going through. Ma, this is it. She was able to express herself the more. So it enhances communication. Being able to, because you're an adult, does not mean you don't make mistakes. You will. So let's all, saying, normalizing those children saying no, it will help you to think, because everybody cannot be. I was telling Coach Rachel, a few minutes ago when we met this one, that everybody cannot be heading the same way. You are thinking the same direction. No, there should be some people that you are in a same. Even in maybe you're in your school, you are a leader. Even as a leader, maybe you have a business, you have your workers under you, and all. Everybody cannot be doing yes ma all the time. There should be somebody that should be able to say, Madam, I feel that let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. I think, no, ma, that's your opinion. It's actually fine, but I think if we add this one to it, it will be better. So it so when you normalize even hearing no from people, right? Normalize hearing no from people. Normalize saying no to people. when you say no to, even as an adult, normalize it. Don't say, this is how we're I said, this is how I was brought up. It's not a parenting approach. It will not lead us anywhere. We must be willing to learn. We must be willing to learn at all times too. So it enhances communication. So when your child tells you, mommy, no, either directly or indirectly, as Coach Rachel has explained, ask them, okay, why? Ask the why factor. Let the why factor be available. When you ask why, they're already giving you reasons. That's already, a relationship building already. That's like a family bonding time already. Okay, bring it on. Let me hear you. Why do you say no? Why do you think it should not be like this? I say, okay, mommy, because this and this, and then you'll be amazed at the kind of intelligent children you are raising. Like, wow. So my child can even think like this, right? So, and then I also feel that it also helps. There are these times that there are some things that the children may be going through in school. Because if I come back home and tell my mommy that, mommy, I went through this in school, and then my mommy will not even ask me that how come and all like that, because there are some cases that we have seen online whereby they say, and the child did not tell me. How will you tell you? Because when you tell you see, yes, you will not allow the child speak, you will not allow the child to express his or herself, but when you will normalize them saying no, they'll be able to come and tell you that this is what they experience in school, either in the case of bullying, harassment, and so it will help. It enhances communication skills. So we must actually be, comfortable with that. I don't know if Patricia has something to say.
Yeah, there was a case some years ago. There was a case of a little girl, because children can actually say no with their body language. Their body language can say
Mm,
no to whatever it is that we are the instruction. There was this case of
yeah.
this little girl. Her mom was taking her to school in the morning, and the girl was
Mm,
crying. She wore her shoe to go to
wow.
the school, and she was just crying. She kept crying, 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 crying. So the mom should have figured out that something is wrong. Let us figure out what is it. But the mom did not calm down to analyze the situation, to read this child's body language. So the mom was just adamant on, we must get to school, and she kept beating this child for refusing
Mm,
to go to school, for not wanting to go to school
mm,
that morning. And the girl was crying,
mm,
crying, and the mom was beating her, and she was kept crying and screaming. She was a toddler.
mm,
So when they got to the school,
mm,
the child was still crying. So her teacher now carried the child, and the girl was swinging one of her feet. The teacher had to remove the shoe the child was wearing. Lo and behold, there was a scorpion inside that shoe, that leg. And this scorpion has been stinging this child, and this child has been trying to say something, communicate to the parents, but the parent was not ready to listen. So we should watch the
mm,
body language of our children. So, and I also
mm,
noticed that many adults have low self-esteem because of the way they were brought up. They were brought up not to say no to anyone. So it is un-African
mm,
to say no to an adult. It is un-African to question the authority or the instruction of an adult. So adults now have these children now grow up to become adults, and they end up with low self-esteem. So I've seen many instances where we have adults, you are having a discussion, and you are trying to look for a way forward to a challenge or a situation, and you have exhausted your options, and you're asking, does anyone else have something to say, any suggestion, any other contribution? And these adults will keep mute. They will not talk until you now take the extra mile and say, okay, you, Brother Lagbaja, what do you have to say? Help us to contribute to this matter. That is when Brother Lagbaja will now start talking. And you will not be
mm,
wondering, so you had all these ideas, these wonderful ideas in
mm,
your mind
mm,
before concerning this problem that we had. Why didn't you speak up since? And I've witnessed this thing so many times, and it baffles me. But the end point of it, my conclusion is that can be traced to their upbringing. They were brought up to have low self-esteem. Thank you.
yeah. So thank you so much for that, Coach Rachel. Just like you said, that it helps them really, because there's no how. just look at that body language scenario that you gave. For toddlers, they may not be able to write out, because look at that girl now. She said no, right? But for some of them, they may not even be able to actually talk like that. But it all boils down to relationship building. Build relationship with your children. Build Because when you build relationship with your children, when your children are telling you some certain things, that a teacher did this to me, somebody did this to me, you will not believe that teacher than your child. You will not say, because your child is lazy, when you've not taken out time to know your child very well. Look at the case of that scorpion. Look at now, the child could have even died. Because, and just due to just the fact that the parents could not be calm to actually say, okay, why is this child even behaving like this firstly all of a sudden? Why is this child being like this all of a sudden? And then you are clueless, or you just feel that no, he just wants to do this, he just wants to do that.
He
We need
doesn't want
to
to go to
actually
school today.
normalize.
He's lazy.
And he doesn't want to go to school. It's just one of those things. No, sometimes it's not one of those things. Sometimes it's them trying to communicate something to you. And that's why we must be patient as mentors, as people that children look up to. We must be patient to actually and be calm and say, okay, why is this child even behaving this way? And if you dig deeper, if we dig deeper, you will see that the child will communicate more. The child will communicate. The child may not be able to speak at that time, but he or she may be showing you a sign that, okay, look at my leg, look at my legs, or look at my body or something, right? So, things like that too. Don't look at the case of that child that was being flogged at school. That look at the slap that they were giving that child. Thank God for the camera that took the teacher, or that took the teacher. People do not know what is going on. How can a little child like that? And probably the child may have gotten home, or maybe as the child wants to even enter the class that day, because I'm sure it's definitely not the teacher's first time. So for the child to have gotten home and then trying to communicate that, mommy, my teacher is to beat me, and then they go to school, things like that. Look at another situation. I think it was early last year too, because I don't know why it's like yearly. These things usually come up in a way. Early last year too, whereby I don't know. I think it's in Abuja, where I think Coach Rachel should remember that case, whereby that girl, they were slapping this girl, and this girl was not saying anything. She was just silent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if this girl has been taught from home that you can actually say no, you can actually stand up, creating, like we mentioned earlier, that it fosters healthy boundaries. It prepares them for real life situations. If this girl has been, from time, she has been taught to say no, she will not get to that point whereby her mates are beating her, slapping her, and then she's just standing, doing nothing, receiving it all. Those kind of people, they will enter a relationship. I'm sure that those kind of people, if we were to check very well in a lighter note, that lady that I said that she mentioned that it is better to be in a relationship I'm sure that maybe they are related in a way. Because that is it. That is how the child will definitely end up in future. Right? I'm sure that's how the child will definitely end up in future. Being in a relationship that the guy is beating you, is slapping you, is boxing you, and then you are even covering up for him and saying that I fell down, I slipped, and that's in a relationship, not even marriage. Marriage self, we are still telling people that you can actually give the person some space, and stuff like that. So how much more a relationship that you have the ability to work out before it's too late. So, that child that could stand there, look at the hot slap from that video last year. It didn't really trended a lot. Look at that scenario there. It means that the child has not learned how to say no. Or the child trying to say no at home is always, shut up, keep quiet.
Keep quiet.
No opinion of hers and all. She has learned to take abuse. She has learned, because if you don't allow them to say no, they will be used to abuse. It's a normal thing. Even when they are saying healing, you are presenting them healing. I've had cases like that as a coach. You are presenting them healing. You come and heal the inner child. You are presenting them healing, and they say, I'm okay. It's one of those things. How did we get there? How did we get there? So these things, when we normalize children saying no, it helps them a lot. They will not be abused. Any form of it, whether verbal abuse, emotional abuse, domestic abuse, whatever, they will not, they will not fall into such. But because we are used to do as I say, do as I say, do as I say, do as I say. We are raising children that cannot stand up for themselves. And just like we asked earlier, just like my coach Rachel asked earlier, that you say, that's how I was raised up. Did you turn out fine? Are you okay? Are you fine? Because like you said, the majority of adults now that in that generation, we are struggling with low self-esteem. They're struggling with low self-esteem. Oh, that's how I was raised. It's not a parenting approach. Oh, that's how I raise my child. You are going to be doing that child more harm than good. So really, really need to look into this thing and see that it's actually okay for your child to tell you no sometimes. So I just want us to, in the few minutes that we have, bring in the balance, the important considerations. I want us to just talk about it. I have 3 here, and I want us to talk about the important considerations. Despite the fact that we said normalize your children telling you no or saying no to you, we need to bring some balance into it. Because I know that some people say, she's telling me, shut up. Should I still say it's okay? No, I'm going to bring some balance into it. We need to bring some balance, right? So the first of it is that the first important consideration, or the first thing we need to consider, is that context matters. Yes, context matters. It is essential. I wrote down here that it's essential to consider. I wrote here that context matters. It is important to consider the context in which the child is saying no. It is important to consider the context in which the child is saying no. Very, 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 very important. It is important to consider the context in which the child is saying no. We must be able to consider it. That's the number one important consideration. Now I said, it is important, it is essential to consider the context in which the child is saying no. If it's a safety issue or a matter of respect, it is crucial to address the behavior. Yes, that's why the fact that we said, okay, your child can tell you no. All right, so despite the fact that I said your child can tell you no, it is important to consider the context in which that child is saying no. Context matters a lot. Context matters a lot. So we need to actually consider it, that, okay, is it a matter of safety or a matter of respect? If it's a matter of safety, like the 4-year-old child scenario that I brought, if I was trying to tell her that let's cross the road, the express road, and then she's saying no, she wants to go on her own. Of course, I will not say because she said no, I should leave her and endanger her. That is a matter of safety, right? So it is important. Context matters. Context matters a lot. Context matters a lot. So we must consider, why is she saying no? Why is she saying no? We must consider it. It is very, very, very important. It is very, very, very important. So, like, it is very important. Is it a matter of safety? Now, if it's a matter of she's trying to cross the road, and then I am now telling her that, or she's now telling me that no, she wants to cross the road on her own, an express road, a 4-year-old. I will not say because I said we should normalize saying no, I should now leave her, because that is a matter of safety, and she can endanger her life by that. Now, or is a matter of respect. If it is outrightly disrespectful, with the context in which the child is saying no, it is a form of disrespect. That you look at this situation and say, this is actually disrespect. Don't encourage it. Don't encourage it. Yes, don't encourage it. So we're trying to bring in the balance in this, where the balance comes in. This is where the balance comes in. The context, is it a matter of safety or a matter of respect? It is crucial to address that behavior. Yes, it is crucial to address that behavior. The second thing is that balance is key. Yes, balance is key. While normalizing no is important, it's equally essential to teach children when it's necessary to comply with instructions, such as in emergency situations, right? So despite that we want to normalize children saying no, balance is key. When it comes to, balance is key. When it comes to, the emergency situations, right? We need to teach children how to comply to instructions. Also, we need to teach children when it's necessary to comply to instructions, especially when it's a situation of emergency. This thing is and then the child is saying no. You need to tell the child that this is an emergency situation. You need to show them so that they can understand too that, okay, it's not that just mommy wants to just boss it around. There are some parents that will say, well, I'm your child. Some parents feel that, okay, because they are the parents, they can just do anyhow. Permit me to use that word. Respectfully speaking, they can just do anyhow. No, the fact that you are the parent, we already established that you are an adult. You can be wrong as an adult. You can be wrong as an adult. I can be wrong as an adult. And we already shared, a lot of, Coach Rachel and I already shared a lot of explanations concerning that. A lot. So we need to normalize it. We need to actually, when you see that, while we are trying to normalize children saying no, it's equally is essential to teach children when it's necessary, to comply with what instructions, such as what emergency situations. Lastly, is that modeling behavior. These are the important things for us to consider. Modeling behavior. Parents and caregivers should model healthy communication skills. Let me take that again. Parents and caregivers should model healthy communication skills, including saying no when necessary, to demonstrate positive behavior. Yes, to demonstrate positive behavior. So we need to model it. We need to model it. We actually need to. We need to model it. So it's very, very important, please. It is important. Let's normalize it. So now the 5 reasons, I just want us to do a recap of the 5 reasons I shared why it's important for us to why we should normalize children saying no. The first one I said is that it encourages autonomy. It encourages autonomy. The second one I said is that it prepares them for real life situations. It prepares them for real life. They'll be able to, make decisions on their own. The third one I said is that it fosters healthy boundaries. The fourth one is it builds self-confidence and their self-esteem. And the last one is that it enhances communication skills. They'll be able to communicate accurately and appropriately. So I don't know if we have any question at all. You can drop it in the comment section. Yeah, if you have any question in 1 minute, let's drop it in the comment section. Any question at all, let's drop it in the comment section. I mentioned already that encourages autonomy. It prepares them for real life situations. It fosters healthy boundaries. It builds their self-confidence and their self-esteem, and it also enhances communication skills. And I gave us some important things to consider, even while we are trying to normalize children saying no. I said that context matters. Context matters a whole lot. Context matters a whole lot. Context matters, right? Balance is key. We need to model the right behavior. Balance is key. We need to model the right behavior. So yes, welcome back, Coach Rachel.
Thank you.
Yes, I was just trying to wrap up with some things. I said that we need to consider some things, despite the fact that we already mentioned that parents or guardian and everyone should normalize children saying no. I said that context matters. we need to check, even as parents and guardian, why is this child saying no? In what situation? Is it a matter of safety or respect? If your child is being disrespectful, if that no means your child is being disrespectful, then you need to address the behavior. If your child if it's a matter of safety, like I said, the 4-year-old child, for instance, now, she's telling me that we are in an express road, we want to cross the road, and she said, I want to cross on my own. And I said, because we have said no, no, I'll not allow her. Right? If it's something that's going to endanger their lives, of course, you have to be firm on that decision that no. You also explain to them, not that, because I said earlier that some parents feel that, oh, I'm a parent now, I can just boss it around. No. Sometimes you can be calm, and hear them too. Because you are a parent doesn't mean that, oh, now is my opportunity to do as I like. No. So if it's a matter of safety or a matter of respect, and you see that this child is being disrespectful by saying this no, or whether we already said that some child there's direct no and there's indirect no. So when we identify it and see this is actually a matter of respect, this person is being this child is being disrespectful, then we need to address the behavior. Yes. We need to address the behavior before it escalates. So we need to address the behavior before it's too late, right? And I say secondly that balance is key. While we are normalizing no is important, it's equally essential to teach children when it's necessary to comply with instructions, such as in emergency situations too, right? So there's a case of emergency and the child is no, you have to explain to the child that no, that's your own idea. It's a beautiful idea, but my dear, my daughter, my son, it cannot work at this time, right? Because this is a matter of emergency and they need to, comply to it. And lastly, I said is modeling behavior. Parents and caregivers should model healthy communication skills, including saying no when necessary to demonstrate positive behavior. So I mentioned that also. So I don't know if you have any final contribution.
Yes, I want to talk about that modeling.
All right.
Modeling is very important. So we are talking about raising children that can reason, that can think, critically analyze things and situations. So, but if we are a parent that is not morally upright, a parent that does anyhow in quotes, a parent that cut corners, so what kind of no are we going to teach these children to be saying? So there will be a conflict. So you can't be telling the child, don't be saying no when somebody tells you don't lie. And when somebody tells you lie, say no. When somebody wants you to cheat, say no. You are telling the child all this, but the child is seeing you doing them. So it's not, there's no balance. It doesn't rhyme. It can't work. So for you to effectively teach your children how to say no in the right manner, you also have to model it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And it's a wrap. And I didn't see any question from any of people on the live call. So I just want to say a very big thank you to you, Ma, for honoring this invitation. It was such an insightful conversation. Thank you for doing this. And yes, we look into doing much more, in the coming months.
Yes.
Right. So yes, thank you for being here. And thank you to everyone that joined or later would watch this live video. And I know that we have been blessed. So let's normalize it. Yes, let's normalize children saying no, as it encourages autonomy, it fosters healthy boundaries, like we have spoken, it builds their self-confidence and their self-esteem, it prepares them for life situations, and all like that. So we need to, and also enhances their communication skills. So yes, let's encourage children saying no. And let's remember that as adults, we cannot always be 100% correct. Sometimes as an adult, you can make mistakes, you can, and you can learn. You can learn from these children because there are things that they know that we actually don't know, which is fine and which is beautiful. So that's why we must always, my closing remark to parents would be that let's learn to build relationship with their children. Oh, like we already said, we already established that this is how I was brought. It's not a parenting approach, and it will never be. It will never ever be a parenting approach. Oh, this is how but this is how I was raised. And we asked you a question that, now that's how you were raised. Did you turn out fine? Are you okay at the moment? Are you fine? Because just like Coach Rachel mentioned that we have majority of adults now struggling with low self-esteem, struggling with low self-esteem. They may not even be aware of it, right? Because of this is how I was raised. Also, my child cannot talk to me. My child cannot do this. What does she or she know? I'm here to tell you that they know much more than you think they don't. They know. They know things that can even bless you as a parent if you give them that chance to be able to speak. So yes, thank you once again, Coach Rachel,
You're
for doing this. And yes,
welcome.
we have come to the end of the live session. And yes, I just want to say, anticipate next month. We're going to be having another live session. So anticipate, everybody. Anticipate. Yeah. So thank you all for being here. God bless you. Have a wonderful day ahead. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.